Hello, my dear children. Today we are going to discuss the first lesson of grade 10 geography, the composition of the earth. The earth occupies a unique place among the planets in the solar system as it is the only planet which sustains life. The reasons for the existence of life on Earth are air, water, and solar energy. The area of the surface of the Earth is about 510 million square kilometers. The Earth is a very large system. It is composed of 4 subsystems, namely atmosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. According to this picture, you can see these 4 systems are interrelating. There is an interaction among these 4 subsystems. For an example, the water in the hydrosphere is added to the atmosphere through evaporation and form clouds. The water falls again to the earth as precipitation. According to this figure, we can clearly see atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere are interrelated with biosphere. First, we are going to discuss about the lithosphere. Lithosphere is the layer that includes the earth crust and the upper mantle. It consists of 2 parts according to its structure. They are crust and upper mantle. The Earth's crust is again subdivided into 2 pieces called continental crust and oceanic crust. The lithosphere is the home for living beings. Most of the human activities occur here. The living and non-living resources which are found in the lithosphere are utilized to fulfill human needs. When the resources found in the lithosphere are utilized by man, the lithosphere is affected in various ways. Dear children, we can see different uses of the lithosphere. For agriculture, for establishment of settlements, establishment of industries, for various scientific researches, and to extract several minerals. As I told you earlier, when the man is using the lithosphere, it is affected in various ways. Here, harmful effects of bad use of lithosphere. Intensification of soil erosion as a result of exposure of land due to clearing of forests. Changes seen in the surface landscape. Damage to certain layers of lithosphere as a result of disposal of domestic and industrial waste. The occurrence of land degradation due to excavation of land to obtain mineral resources. Changes in the groundwater level. Now we are going to discuss about the atmosphere. The atmosphere is the thin blanket of air around the earth that consists of various gases. The atmosphere is held by the earth due to its gravitational pull. The most important layer of the atmosphere is the area that extends up to 120 kilometers from the surface of the earth. 50% of the total air content of the atmosphere is present in the region that extends up to 5 to 6 kilometers from the Earth's surface. The atmosphere is very important for the existence of living beings. Especially for living beings, it provides oxygen for respiration. And for plants, atmosphere provides the necessary carbon dioxide for the process of photosynthesis. Dear children, now we are going to discuss about the composition of the atmosphere. As we know, it is a collection of gases. There are various gases are collected in the atmosphere. Nitrogen is the most abundant gas in the atmosphere. Some of the other gases are oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, ozone and helium. We can see the composition in a pie chart. We can see a large proportion is represented by nitrogen while the other larger proportion is represented by oxygen. Reasons for the changes of the composition of the atmosphere. Because of natural phenomena and various human activities, there are some changes in the composition of the atmosphere. First, we are going to look at what are the human activities that cause the changes in the composition of the atmosphere. First, burning of fossil fuel. According to these pictures, you can see, dear children, mainly we use fossil fuel for transportation as well as for industrial purposes. Then smoke from factories. Set fire to the forests. Agriculture. Many aspects of agriculture, we have to use different chemicals, pesticides, and because of these activities, the composition may be changed. Astronomical activities like sending rockets. Now we are going to discuss what are the natural phenomena which cause changes in the composition of the atmosphere. First, volcanic eruptions. Addition of methane from marshes. Wildfire. Because of the human and natural activities, many harmful gases are added to the atmosphere and they are affected for the changes in the composition of the atmosphere. Most of the harmful gases are carbon dioxide, methane, carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide. Structure of the atmosphere. The atmosphere is divided into four main layers on the basis of change of the temperature with the altitude. In certain layers, the temperature is increasing with the altitude, while in certain layers, the temperature is decreasing with the altitude. We can see four main layers: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere and thermosphere. Dear children, look at this picture. We can see a clear picture of the layers of the atmosphere. Troposphere is the closest layer to the surface of the earth, and then stratosphere, mesosphere and thermosphere are there. And there are several boundaries between these layers. In between stratosphere and troposphere, we can see tropopause, and in between mesosphere and stratosphere, we can see stratopause, while in between mesosphere and thermosphere, we can see mesopause. Now we are going to discuss about the troposphere. It extends up to 8 to 12 kilometers from the surface of the earth. The temperature decreases with altitude. It is known as environmental lapse rate. The temperature decreases by 6.40 Celsius for every 1000 meters rise from the sea level. All the atmospheric phenomena, including precipitation, temperature, pressure, humidity, winds, and formation of clouds occur within this layer. The processes that occur in the troposphere are very important for the existence of the biosphere. Normal aeroplanes fly in the area close to the upper boundary of the troposphere. The upper limit of the troposphere is called the tropopause. The next layer is the stratosphere. The upper boundary of the stratosphere extends up to 48 to 50 kilometers from sea level. The increase of temperature with the increasing altitude is a special characteristic in this layer. The ozone layer, which is very important for the existence of the biosphere, is located between 20 to 30 kilometers of this layer. The specific feature of the ozone layer is the absorption of the ultraviolet rays of the sun that are harmful to living beings. The location of the ozone layer influences the increase of temperature in this zone also. Most of the meteorites that fall towards the earth from space burn up and get destroyed within the stratosphere. The upper boundary of the stratosphere is called stratopause. Mesosphere. The upper boundary extends up to the altitude of 80 kilometers from the sea level. The temperature decreases with the altitude. There is no water vapor, clouds or dust particles in this layer. The lowest temperature of the atmosphere is recorded here. Electric phenomena occur in abundance in this layer. The upper boundary of the mesosphere is called mesopause. Last layer is thermosphere. The upper boundary of the thermosphere extends up to 120 kilometers approximately. The temperature increases rapidly with the altitude. There is a high temperature in this layer. The temperature at noon is about 1100 Celsius. The difference between the temperature of day and night is at a higher level. The volume of gases is very low. The upper boundary of the thermosphere is the upper boundary of the Earth's atmosphere. The next subsystem of the Earth is hydrosphere. The entire body of water on the surface of the Earth in various forms is termed the hydrosphere. The total volume of water on Earth is calculated as 1,386 million cubic kilometers. Water is essential for the sustenance of all the biosystems. We can see water in different forms. In the lithosphere, it is available in solid and liquid form as ice and water. In the atmosphere, it is in gaseous form of water, gaseous form as water vapor. In the biosphere, it is distributed in bodies of animals and plants. There are various utilizations of hydrosphere for agriculture, for drinking, for domestic purposes, for existence of biosystems, for various industries, and it is used in transportation also. Dear children, let's see the global distribution of water. It is available as 97.5 as salt water and 2.5 is fresh water. When we subdivide the fresh water again, it is available as ice caps and glaciers 79%, groundwater 20% and 1% of usable fresh water. If we subdivide usable fresh water again, 52% are water in lakes, 38% water in soil, 8% of water vapor in the atmosphere, 1% of water in rivers and 1% of water in living organisms. It is very clear, children, out of the total volume of global water, only 1% or a very limited amount of fresh water found on the surface of land can be utilized by man. Now we are going to discuss about water cycle. The continuous process by which water is circulated throughout the earth and the atmosphere through evaporation, condensation, precipitation and the transpiration of plants is known as the water cycle. We can see the main processes are available in this picture: transpiration and evaporation, condensation and formation of clouds, precipitation, surface runoff and infiltration. Dear children, we will discuss the process of water cycle one by one. First, evaporation. The atmosphere gets the water that is evaporated from the surface of the land and the other water bodies due to the heat of the sun. Transpiration. The release of water from plant leaves. Plants put down roots into the soil to draw water and nutrients up into the stems and leaves. Some of this water is returned to the air by this process of transpiration. Condensation. The change of the state of water vapor from the gas phase into the liquid phase. Water vapor faces this situation due to the lapse rate in the troposphere. Precipitation. It is water released from clouds in the form of rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Infiltration. The movement of water into the ground from the surface. The movement of water into the ground from the surface. Percolation is the movement of water past the soil going deep into the ground water. Final step, surface runoff. A part of the precipitation flows over the landscape. Impervious areas cause excessive runoff hail. Now we are going to discuss another subtopic, pollution of water. Pollution of water means the changes in the quality of water. The deterioration of the quality of water causes harmful effects on the survival of living beings. Water pollution can be occurred due to two reasons. They are natural reasons and human activities. Now we are going to look at what are the natural phenomena caused for the pollution of water. Occurrence of landslides, occurrence of floods, occurrence of tsunami, and occurrence of droughts are some of the natural phenomena. Here are the human activities cause the pollution of water. Irregular release of domestic waste, chemicals released by the industries, irregular disposal of sewage due to marine transportation and fishing industry, disposal of waste into water bodies. Dear children, now we are going to discuss about the last subsystem of the earth. It is biosphere. Biosphere is the constantly active subsystem of the geosystem. It includes all the living organisms of the earth. The existence of the biosphere depends on the interaction of the atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere. There are two factors that affect the processes in the biosphere. They are living components and non-living components. Plants, animals and decomposers are living components, while solar energy, soil, water, air are some of the non-living components in the biosphere. Non-living factors are directly affected for the existence of biosphere. For an example, oxygen is needed for the respiration of living beings. Sun is the prime source of energy for biosphere. Existence of living components depend on the existence of non-living components. Dear children, as we discussed earlier, there is an interaction among the subsystems of the Earth. The biosphere can be seen in certain areas of the other three subsystems. In the lithosphere, the layer in which the root system of plants spreads and where soil organisms live. We can see the biosphere in the hydrosphere, where the ocean bed in which sufficient amount of sunlight penetrates for the process of photosynthesis. The biosphere is visible in the atmosphere, where the limits where birds fly. Human activities that disrupt the equilibrium of the biosphere. There are certain human activities which disrupt the biosphere, such as hunting animals, clearance of forests, excessive use of agrochemicals, gene trade, and breeding of invasive species. Because of the natural and human phenomena, some of the animals have extinct from the earth. In these pictures, we can see some animals which extinct from the earth recently. In addition, most of the animals are named as endangered plants and animals. In these pictures, we can see the endangered plants and animals in the world. Sadly, there are some animals in Sri Lanka also named as endangered animals. Here are some endangered animals in Sri Lanka. In addition, there are some invasive species which are harmful for the ecosystems of certain regions. Here are some invasive species in Sri Lanka. Dear children, here are the sources of this lesson: textbook and teacher's guide of grade 10 geography, and some other websites are available. Dear children, we have discussed a certain section of lesson 1 of geography. Hope to meet you in the other session of this lesson. Have a nice day.